Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black British Parent Podcast. And today we have an amazing, phenomenal guest. All of our guests are phenomenal and amazing. I always say that.
That's okay.
Because everybody's amazing.
That's okay.
But we have the phenomenal Norma Powell.
Yes.
Who is a shiatsu practitioner and a Reiki practitioner.
Yep.
Can you please tell us a little bit more about the work that you do?
So as a shiatsu practitioner, I work with women to alleviate whatever they may be feeling. So that could be physical stress, emotional stress, fill in the blank, mental stress. So I do have some clients with mental issues, physical issues. Say, for example, they're going through menopause, pregnancy, or pain, back pain, physical pain. And so I work with women predominantly. I do work with some men. I don't negate what I do with men to help them feel better. So what is shiatsu? Shiatsu is akin to acupuncture. So an acupuncture will put needles in meridians in the body. I do the same, but I use my hands and elbow, knees. So I work in a traditional way on the floor, on a futon, to bring ease and painlessness into the body. So I work using the 5-element shiatsu practice, Shintai practice, and Zen shiatsu. So it's one of those three modalities that I've been taught to use to help bodies feel freer.
Can you explain what the difference is between the three different types of shiatsu you do?
So with 5 elements, that's working with the elements. So fire, earth, metal, wood, water. And then it's seasonal. So it depends on where you're coming from. I'll work that way. Zen shiatsu is working on extended meridians. So you have the traditional 12 traditional meridians, and then there are some added meridians. So it's more work. It's elevated. And then the Shintai is working in a cellular, finite way. I like to call it my fascial way. So it's very subtle. It feels like I'm not doing anything, but I'm working, for me, on a fascial level, very subtle, very gentle. It feels like nothing's happening, but there are shifts in your nervous system, in your pattern, in your fascia. So for me, it's how it opens a door to something else. It opens a portal to something else.
Yeah, thank you. I'm ready to just proper get into this conversation, but I'm normally meant to start with an icebreaker. It looks like we've broken the ice already.
Yes.
But just get back to the point of the icebreaker. What I like to ask my guest is, what's their favourite movie of all time?
And I knew you was going to ask me this question because I watched some of your videos and I thought, well, which one is it? And I thought, I don't have one.
Oh, no.
I don't really have one. And I was talking to my daughter about this earlier and I said, what shall I say? She went, do you have one? I went, not really. So what comes to mind was when in my younger years, I used to like watching Sylvester Stallone movies.
Okay,
Yeah. So I'd watch him like cook food. But now as an older person, I think for me, the joy comes from different things. So music brings me joy. Watching the daylight brings me joy. I think that's what I want to impart, that when you go through different seasons in life, different things will reward you in different ways. So I have a number of different things that will bring me joy. Mm-hmm. I know I've not answered your question, but that is my answer.
I guess I have to take you. That's a first. Trust you. Okay. So thank you for that. Back to what we were talking about, obviously, before the icebreaker, which we didn't necessarily need, but we did because the perspective was definitely important. Yeah. Shiatsu and Reiki. So what can you explain, give a brief about what Reiki is really about?
Yeah, so Reiki's another challenging one to explain. So how I always explain it is, like when you go to church and you do hands-on healing, it's like that, but without the euphoria. for me anyway, in my experience of receiving Reiki, it's without the big gestures. So I find these are ways to subtly bring ease, flow, gentleness into the body. So, and Reiki will only go where you, as a receiver, needs it to go. So it's not going to give you a different experience to what you should be feeling at that moment in time.
Okay.
I personally, hands-on, so I know that there are practitioners that hover over, but I feel energy in the body, I feel ki in the body, I feel movement in the body, so I tend to hands-on.
Okay. So would you be able to... Okay, I think my next question would be then, what... in your journey into healing, what led you to become a Reiki and Shiatsu practitioner?
Interesting question. I always like this question because it's a loaded question. And for me, I just didn't like the way that I feel. I didn't like the way that I felt. I didn't like the woman that I was becoming. Wife, mother, daughter, sister, but I was angry. And I had a lot of anger in me. So I first moved to Reiki. I saw this advert and I said, oh, that looks interesting, let me have a look. And when I had experienced it, I felt this peace. The things that, I have a monkey mind, I have a chatty mind. And for a period of time, that eased off. I was a junior manager, I had responsibilities, I was accountable for this, that and the other, but I had no peace of mind, and that's what Reiki brought for me. When I then moved on to Shiatsu, that was a case of, geez, I can feel different in this body and I could learn that.
Yeah.
I haven't stopped learning. There's that question, I can't remember that big quote that says, where do you want to be when you die? Or just before your funeral, how do you want people to remember you? And my answer is, I want to keep on learning. So that's why I keep on doing what I do.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. So was there anything like a personal experience that really sparked your interest into it?
What do you mean?
Maybe specific experience, maybe something that just like, do you know what, I have to do something about this.
So my first experience of Shiatsu was, a work colleague said to me, oh, you would benefit from Shiatsu. And I thought, well, I'll try anything once. He said, I keep my clothes on, so I went, I'll definitely go for that. And he asked me how did I want to feel after my treatment, and I said, if you could lift the top of my head off, take all the stuff out, and then put my head back, the lid back on my head, I'd be happy. I slept for 24 hours.
Gosh.
And I thought, if someone who doesn't know me has just moved my body in different ways, has understood me without me verbiage, talking about what I feel, what can I do if I understood my own body in that way? So that's what prompted me, that's what sparked my interest in becoming a Shiatsu practitioner.
It's understanding of yourself.
I'm a bit selfish. No, selfless. I wanted to understand this body because other people could tell me what they thought, but I couldn't tell them what I knew. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So as soon as I become aware of, I can now speak for myself with integrity. I don't have to comply. I don't have to be complicit with someone else's story. I could just be authentic with my own story.
Yeah. Need more of that. Hey family, we hope you're enjoying the show. If you want to stay up to date with all things Black British Parent, we've got the perfect way for you to do just that. Join our mailing list and be the first to know about new episodes, exciting news, and upcoming events. It's super easy to sign up. Just head over to our website and into your email. Don't miss out on the latest from Black British Parent. Join our community today. Now, back to the show. So you kind of earlier mentioned about describing what shiatsu and Reiki are, but can you explain to us what's the main difference between the two?
The main difference between the two is that Reiki, a patient will lie on the bed and I will work around the patient, laying on hands, and then I'll flip them over and work on, the other side of the body. Whereas with shiatsu, that is more involved. There's more stretching, rotations, palpation, movement. I might actively ask you a question and ask you what you're thinking, what you're feeling, ask you to bring in more breath into the body. So there's more active participation. Reiki is a bit more passive.
Okay. So like in Black and Caribbean communities, there's often a mix of openness and skepticism about energy healing. How do you navigate that, and what's your experience been like as a practitioner?
So, at its worst, people will say, "Oh yes, that sounds nice, that sounds good," and then they go off. Others it will spark curiosity in them. "Oh, well, that sounds good." And they'll experience it, they'll experience the benefits, and some will stay and some will go. And for me, I've had to let go of those that stay and those that go, because for me, I think that this modality of healing, if you want to call it healing, is going to meet you wherever you are.
Mm. And you say, why would you say if you call it healing? What else could it be called?
I struggle with that word healing because as a child I thought healing meant that I was going to be better, I was going to be well, I was going to be fill in the blank. But I think at this point in my life, for me, healing means something different. It means this element, this fragment is going to change. And now that I've come to recognise that, if that makes sense, I'm not looking for you to do anything. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for me to find the internal resources.
Yeah. I guess I think my main thing is that a lot of us are kind of skeptical when it comes to these kinds of things outside of what we're used to. And something like Reiki and Shiatsu, they're Japanese practices, right?
Yeah.
Which is typically foreign, although we're into samurai and martial arts and those kinds of things. So
absolutely, and there's a big Chinese community in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And that is something that I need to explore because they must have brought something.
Yeah.
And before them, we had our hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my great memories is my dad giving me a massage. It wasn't a massage, he was just rubbing cream on me, but it's the same principle.
Yeah.
If I feel something, I'll go to my mum and I'll get a hug.
Yeah. In St. Lucia we've got
it's that connection, that visceral connection with my past that I love.
Yeah, I hear that. I was just about to say that in St. Lucia we have something called healing candle, where we melt the candle and use it on the elements or whatever, and that's healing in itself, obviously. So
exactly. So essentially, what I'm doing is going back into my innate nature.
Well, what makes us so skeptical of receiving or indulging in these practices is quite beyond me, because we need it.
Absolutely.
So much, especially now, what we're going through and stuff, and what we've been through. We're reluctant to I think our ideas of what healing is can get in the way of our healing. And I don't mean that with judgment, because I'm still learning myself, but in observation, it's like we allow I think we've allowed ourselves to get confused about what is valuable to us, and we might not necessarily invest in ourselves and our healing and our growth. And if we're not able to do that, then it makes me question how much we value ourselves. If you get what I'm getting at.
I do, and it's a loaded statement. So, and that's intergenerational.
Yes.
So it's a big thing, and I'm still navigating that now. But my question is always, can I serve from an empty cup? And if I'm serving from an empty cup, then am I doing myself a disservice?
Yeah.
And that is a powerful thing to recognise. And that's often what clients experience, that they are serving from an empty cup. They are barren, in whatever barren means, whether that means that they're menopausal and they can't have children, or that they can have children and don't want children, whatever. If they're so self-serving that they don't have anything else to give and they need to start learning how to heal themselves or to take time out, and now that they're in that position, how do they do it? They don't know how to navigate that. And we don't have the skills, knowledge or experience to regulate ourselves. So how do I regulate my own nervous system? How do I regulate myself so that I can become full again and then move on in the world?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll put my hand up and say, oftentimes for me, when I'm ready to, if I try to do the maintenance, the regular maintenance, but it's not until it's complete like burnout. It's like I need to do something, or, you know, I'm in a situation that I can't move any further. So it's like, okay, there's a blockage. Let me go and deal with it.
Absolutely. And we were never taught to do that.
Yeah.
We were meant to serve in the cotton fields.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're tired? You can still stand up, get up and work. But if I'm coming to you and I'm firing on all cylinders, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise, in whatever that may mean, because for some people it's the aesthetics, for other people it's how they feel. I want to feel good in this body. I know I have physical restrictions in this body, so how do I navigate the rest of the world outside?
Yeah. It's a tough question, though.
Absolutely. And it's work. It's work.
Yeah. Yeah. So many of us are used to Western medicine, where healing feels very hands-off. How does physical touch and energy work in Shiatsu and Reiki help the body and mind to heal?
Wow, that's an interesting question. How do I want to answer it? So, how I come to my practice is, what do you want to present to me? So, my work is always done by consultation, so there's the conversation beforehand. And I'll ask, how do you want to feel? And is there anywhere you don't want to be touched? Because I have to be mindful and respectful that I could touch a nerve, touch something that you're not ready for. So when I lay my hand on your sacrum, when I lay my hand on your hara, your belly, I'm coming, what do you want to present to me today? What do you want to reveal? What does your body want to reveal to you today?
Gosh. And I've experienced it, so I know exactly what you're talking about. So and I'm trying to think of all the questions, as though I haven't experienced it. But it's definitely much that, because sometimes what you think you want to heal and what you're saying, and then what your body's telling you or expressing,
absolutely,
can be two different things.
Absolutely. And sometimes I can draw a client's attention to something. I can draw a patient's attention to something. Can you feel that? And they say to me, no. And my mind is saying, what do you mean you can't feel that? Because your body is explosive, it's exploring itself in a completely different way.
And the brain's ticking over on other things as
well. Absolutely. And that's the disassociation. So for me, that's information. How integrated is this person.
Yeah.
And it's no judgment. It's no judgment at all,
yes.
because that's what we were, I don't want to say that's what we were taught, but that's what we were learned. And that's how we navigate the world.
Maybe conditioned or programmed with.
Those words too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, I don't want to put words onto people's experiences.
Yes, I hear you. Yeah.
So I want you to tell me what your experience is, and then I'll question your experience, because I want you to give it validation.
Because no one else can validate it for you.
I can't. Yeah.
So you spoke about the importance of rest at the Parenthood and Wellbeing
Oh,
Conference.
yeah.
Why is rest so crucial, especially for Black parents who are always on the go?
Because that's it. We're always on the go. But where are we going? Where are we going is the question. I don't want to toil and labour for no one or for nothing, not no one, because I toil and labour for me, but it not going nowhere. So even the land needs to rest.
Yes.
So what makes me think that I don't need to rest? Yes. Does that make sense? And a lot of times people say, how people's perception, let me reframe that. People's perception of what rest is different to mine. If I'm tired, I'm going to bed to sleep. I'm not going to drink a dragon or a Red Bull or have another cup of coffee. I'm going to go to my bed and rest, because I'll be better in the morning. I'll be better after rest. I'll be better once I've slept. A better version of me, because a better version of me is rested. It's nourished. It's able to think well. It's able to be well in someone else's company. I don't, you meet those people that whenever you see them, oh, how are you? Oh, I'm so tired. And that is your trophy. I don't want to be that trophy girl that says fatigue is my reward. I didn't get born to be tired.
No, yeah. But it's so difficult for people to sleep now, especially with the distractions that are
You
out there.
learn, Debbie. You learn how to sleep. I've just had to learn how to sleep.
Our eating patterns, we might eat at the wrong times.
Debbie,
and we've got so much stress and pressures going on, and we don't have any release for them.
But it's about prioritising feeling well. What makes you feel well doesn't make me feel well.
Yeah.
You eating that pizza makes you feel well. It won't make me feel well.
Yeah.
You getting 5 hours sleep might make you feel well. Me getting 9 hours sleep is going to make me feel well. So what am I saying? I'm saying that everyone has their own resources, but how you resource that is how you resource that. So I try not to get involved in the shine. I'll look at social media, I'll look at what's out there, and I'll take away, I'll extract what's appropriate for me.
Yeah. It's discipline.
Absolutely.
Be in control, having autonomy over self.
Control is an explosive word, isn't it?
Yes. Because we all want to be in control. To somewhat degree.
So who's more in control now? If I am not feeling tired or ABC,
This is it. Yeah.
I've taken back my control.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how I got into the rest habit. I decided that I was going to go to bed at 8 o'clock every single night. And I set my family up. I said, look, my phone's going to be off because I'm going to bed. They're going, oh, but you don't sleep. And I went, exactly. I prioritised me. So for a week, I went to bed at 8 o'clock. Did I sleep? No. My mind was going. But then I started to put on music. I started to journal. I started to walk before bed. I did various different things. I tried a variety of different things until when I found my unique spot, my sweet spot. And that's where I remain.
I like that you said that, because like, I tried this and it doesn't work, and I tried that and it doesn't work, but you consistently tried various different things to find what works for you.
Yeah. You see, most people will say, "Oh, right, okay, I can't sleep. Let me take a pill." That's not my jam. Because my body's tired, my brain isn't. So how do I turn off the monkey mind? How do I shut it down? Journal. I used to leave a notepad and pen in the bathroom because if I wake up for a nocturnal wee, I would then write down what was in my head and go back to bed.
That's a good look.
Um,
That's a good look, yeah. Or go and get a shiatsu
Exactly.
session, because that will knock you out real quick.
Go for a shiatsu. And I do.
Yeah.
I have shiatsu every 4 to 6 weeks. I have a massage every 4 to 6 weeks.
So you don't have to have it weekly or monthly, like people say, 4 to 6 weeks. Well, that's
It's a loaded question, and I often get asked, how soon should I come back? When you're ready.
yeah.
Just don't leave it so long that when you're coming back, you're broken, because I can't fix you.
Yeah.
And that's what I do have some clients who come back and they're broken. And I look at them and I think, why did you do this to yourself?
Because they know they can come back to you. I know it's wrong, but I'm just saying, they have someone to come to. But really, it should be, but it's like
It's maintenance.
MOT and
It's maintenance. Just like how you want to feel good when you've eaten something, feel good in the body.
That's beautiful. So we talked about parents. Can Reiki and Shiatsu benefit children?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Absolutely. You can Reiki anything. Reiki and Shiatsu is universal energy. All that's happening is that I receive energy, you receive energy, and off we go.
So have you seen any transformations in young people who've experienced these kind of practices?
My children.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have Reiki'd a number of children over the years. I've Reiki'd pregnant women as well.
Yes, I was one of them. Keep exposing myself.
Do you know what I mean?
But vouching and crediting and, talking about these things, I like to be able to say, like, I've had certain experiences and I'm like, people need to know and go and experience them. And obviously being a doula myself and having had those experiences, I'm always trying to encourage some of my clients I work with, go and get shiatsu.
Yeah.
Have a Reiki treatment.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? It's like, I remember I was at an event and I was talking about rest, and then during my talk I was saying, I'm a shiatsu practitioner, Reiki practitioner, and the woman came up to me, she went, "Why do you do that? You're black."
Gosh.
And at first I was a bit affronted and I went, "Ooh, that was a bit of a slap." And I went, "Because you don't know." And I said, "Have you ever experienced feeling good, feeling well?"
Clearly not.
And, she just sort of like looked at me and she goes, "Yeah, but we've got African or Jamaican and fill in the blank." And I went, "Yeah, but this is what's right for me.
Yeah.
This is what's right for me. And I'm okay with that. Are you okay with that?" And I think once you become steadfast in who you are, it's a bit like that biblical phrase, you're either on the solid ground or you're on the quicksand. And I think for me now, I'm on the solid ground.
So what are the benefits of practice like shiatsu and Reiki for pregnant women?
How do I want to answer this question? So you can have pregnancy shiatsu, and I've done the shiatsu course for pregnant women. So, for example, you can have aches and pains and you can alleviate that just like you would do in any other body. But you can actually give a client shiatsu when they're in labour.
Goodness, gosh. Okay. How does that work? Have you done that before?
I have.
How was that?
Scary.
Really?
Yeah, it was scary.
Why?
So what in my experience, when I'm working with a client that's pregnant, I'm working with two energies. So if, for example, the mother is stressed, the baby is stressed. So how do I contain that? I don't know what's going on in your life. I only know what you present to me in that moment. So there was one client who said to me, I'm pregnant, I want this baby, but I'm disconnected. I cannot feel love for this thing.
Gosh.
That I've desperately wanted for years.
Yeah.
So all I did was I just held the baby and her, their hearts. And I just imagined bringing that love, that connection, that connectivity, and shifted that energy. And then, of course, she starts crying. And I'm thinking, well, is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? And I went, how do you feel? She goes, I can feel my baby.
Gosh.
And I can feel his love for me.
Yeah.
And that's energy.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah. I just think about the women that go through those feelings and don't know what to do, and something
Absolutely.
like this can assist them and realign and reconnect.
And shift energy.
And shift energy, yeah. Gosh, I didn't know that could happen. Yeah, I'm intrigued. So, what's the biggest misconception people have about Reiki and Shiatsu?
I think one of the things is, why do I need to pay for it?
Gosh. How do you negate that question?
I don't anymore. I no longer think that I have to
Justify or explain.
justify. How long did it take me to get this qualification? It took me 4 years. How much did I spend? Thousands. Thousands.
I just don't understand why people think that they want the service, but they don't want to pay for it.
They'd go to an osteopath and spend £80.
That they expect it to be free. It throws.
It's information for me. It's how much, and I'm not saying that Shiatsu is going to work for everyone. I'm not going to say Reiki works for everyone, but it's a bit of a glass ceiling. It can open a door for you. It can be a window of opportunity for you. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But am I expecting a miracle? I'm not expecting a miracle.
You said so much with so little then, as always. Norma.
And that's why I don't like to use the word healing, because my perception of healing is different to yours.
Yeah.
So it's, what do I want to feel? I want to feel better. I want to sleep well. I want to do this, and I want the physical body to feel better in itself.
Yeah. What's the most common kind of ailment or concern that people tend to come to you with?
Stress.
If there is one, is it?
Yeah. It's I'm stressed out. And there are a myriad of different stressors. You know, take the classic one is food. I eat well. So if you told me what you had for your nutrition, and I don't like the word diet, you tell me what you have for your, how does it make you feel when you've eaten that? And if you burp, fart, belch, I'm thinking, well, that's a rejection. Your body is rejecting that thing. So could you not eat that? But I like it. So that's information for me. You like feeling unwell.
Gosh.
I had a client once who said, what was their chosen? I can't remember what their chosen, I think it might have been wheat. They said, whenever I eat bread, I feel this way. And I said, well, why do you eat it? Because I like it. And I said, but does your body? And they looked at me like affronted. Of course, what does my body know? And I thought, your body is not serving you because you've just put something in there that it's not able to digest.
And it's telling you can't digest it and you're ignoring it. But you're aware of it. You just want that feeling to go away so you can continue eating what you want to eat.
So Norma, can you make my belly feel better so that I can go and eat more X, Y, Z?
Yeah. Gosh. Without being judgmental, it's hard. But you just hold in the mirror up for them to see their own reflections, I suppose, with what they're doing. Yeah.
And I'm not doing anything that people don't know.
Of course.
It's just consciousness. It's about consciousness, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm just reflecting what you've told me.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you, and I'm letting you now hear you.
And you do it so well.
Thank you. I'll wear that crown.
Honestly, you do it really well. Are there any self-massage techniques or mindfulness exercises parents can do to help, that they can do at home to help relieve stress?
Absolutely. And I will recommend you go to YouTube because there's a myriad of information out there. So not to reinvent the wheel, it's out there. It's in the public domain already. I would personally say when you get up in the morning, you've had your shower, you find a lotion that soothes you, a fragrance that soothes you, a natural fragrance that soothes you.
Yeah.
And you can take control of that. Don't delegate it to someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have your shower at night, you put on your lotion, don't delegate it to someone else.
Take ownership.
Absolutely. Give it to yourself.
Yeah.
I started to learn shiatsu so that I can make myself feel good. Period.
And how has that worked for you? How long have you been a shiatsu and Reiki practitioner?
So
That should be the first question I asked you, really.
yeah, now is the right time for you to hear this. So I started with Reiki, I can't even remember when. So shiatsu was 2010 was when I qualified. It took me 4 years. So 2006 is when I started Reiki. And I did that I took a few years receiving Reiki, and then I learnt it myself. And then after having the experience with my friend, I then said, let me go and learn it for myself. And that was it. I thought, let me learn it for myself. So I was doing all these self techniques with shiatsu, and then I was given shiatsu to family.
I guess in my mind, I'm thinking about how religion plays a role in this, because we're talking about laying of hands or Reiki, etc. I wonder how people who are religious, potentially Christian or that nature, how they might feel about the work you do. If you had anything been said to you potentially about it, no? Okay, should we move on to the next question then? So your vision for the future. How do you see energy healing evolving within Black communities? Are there any upcoming projects or workshops you're excited about?
So, I'm excited about being here today, as you know. Just see, Debbie's been after me for years.
You finally said yes, yay.
I'm open to it, actually. I'm open to I think for me, I've come out of my little, my closet of I can't do that. I can. I've done my own healing, for want of a better phrase. I've done my own work, my own internal work, so that I feel more comfortable speaking my joy, because this brings me joy. Absolutely. I can have someone walk through the door, me talk to them, work with them, and they feel different when they get up off the futon. And that's brought me joy.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the sense that I think I'm a healer. I don't use that. If you haven't learned by now, I struggle with that phrase. I just want you to feel differently in your body. I want you to understand the body that you're living in today, because we evolve. What fits today may not fit tomorrow. Yeah. And once you have that awareness, you can then navigate yourself through the world differently. And that's what it's brought for me. It's facilitated change. For me, it's a facilitator of change. So that's what I want to actively encourage people to understand, that body work is how you can feel differently in this body.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Thank you.
My pleasure.
So much. Finally saying yes, Norma. Lastly, do you have a message for Black British parent, please?
Do your work. Do your research, but do your work. So find what you think will work. Gift yourself, not give yourself. Gift yourself a period. I will always say 3 months for what you've just learned. And once that's over, that 3-month period is over, reflect, pause, reflect. Did that work? How did it work? And then take that joy and move on to the next.
Okay.
Because you're only going to elevate and be the best version of you. Not just for you, but for your children and your children and your children's children.
Yeah.
It's time to break the cycle, not to keep us in that bondage. Break free, whatever that means for you.
Thank you so much. Please let our followers, our listeners know how they can get in touch with you.
You would ask this question, and I don't hold that in my head.
Oh my gosh. Email address, website. Your daughter's looking at me. She's looking at you shaking her head.
Because that's not important for me.
Yeah,
That's
we'll do that.
not important for me. That's not important for me. It's for you. See, what you should have heard is what was important.
Yes.
And once you hear that, you write it down and you go.
And do the work with
and
that.
do your work.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Well, we'll put your details in the caption.
Please do.
Norma, thank you so much. I don't know how much I can thank you for coming on. I think you shared so many gems and so much important information. I think that we really could do. I certainly could do with hearing them again and again. So, again, thank you so much for the work that you're doing.
My pleasure.
And yeah, guys, that's another episode of the Black British Parent podcast. And thank you so much for listening. Take care.